And good evening, race fans, and welcome to Freaky Fast broadcasting presentation of the Underdog Racing League. We are here for 25 laps around the Charlotte ROVAL road course, the first road course of the year for the Underdog Racing League. Up here in the booth, it's me, Carl Pooler. Next to me, I have Billy Peter Martin, and then as always, we have Robert Moyer Jr. in the booth. And of course, the Underdog Racing League, this presentation is brought to you by Ultimate Siding and Gutters LLC. Our customers say we're the best in the business. We specialize in residential and commercial construction. We have been in the business for over 15 years, and we only use the best materials dedicated to completing each project in a timely manner. There's nothing more important than having a house to call a home. Ultimate Siding and Gutters LLC. Well, Billy, here we are. Practice is starting to wrap up. We have already seen a bunch of chaos. A lot of these guys a little uncomfortable with the cars. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of action tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Can't wait. Looking forward to it. This track opened up in 2018. These boys at Charlotte ROVAL is going to be a great one. We got 12 turns tonight, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going right. We're going left. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait, Carl. We're going to see some fantastic racing by the Underdog Racing League.
And like you said, we are turning right tonight. A lot of these guys are nervous. Oval guys, you put them in and you make them give them an extra turn. They kind of get a little short circuit there. So we are going to be having a lot of exciting racing. If you're race fans of the Cup Series, we see a lot of action here. We've seen Kevin Harvick and Chase Elliott get into it. So we are bound to see much of the same tonight. These cars, the low downforce, the kind of high power package. So throttle control will be the key tonight as we get going on our qualifying run, which will run about 10 minutes or 2 laps. So whichever comes first, all these guys are going to start trying to get up there. Turn one is always chaotic. We are counting roughly 30 cars again tonight. So that turn one, we're going to see 3, maybe even 4 wide tonight, Billy. We're going to have a lot of action to call.
A lot of action indeed. That first turn one is going to be the big problem here, and then you got the horseshoe, and you got 2 horseshoes actually in the track. So it's going to be really interesting tonight to see where this is going to go for these guys. It's the first ROVAL for them, so for most of these guys, so it might be a tough night for them.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough night. Couple horseshoes, a couple chicanes too. We have the backstretch chicane and then the one right before the start-finish line. A couple years ago, we saw Jimmy Johnson and Martin Truex Jr. in real life get into it there. That's going to be a huge spot to make moves. Whoever can break later, that is going to be the most important part of this track, honestly, as we are watching the number 11 of Peyton Presley try to lay down his own lap. Being smooth, I think, will be a little more key than being fast. You can get a fast lap, but if you want to keep that car in one piece, you've got to be smooth.
Yeah, you got to be smooth. You got to try to hit your marks. Don't hit those rumble strips because they're going to tear up the car pretty well too. So, this track is the challenge, and tonight to see these guys race on this surface here tonight is going to be a real fun experience.
And as we were watching there, the number 11 was able to bounce off of those, what they call turtles, those really giant blue curbs. On the screen, they don't look very big, but they're roughly 6 to 8 inches tall, and they tear up cars quick, like Billy mentioned. So as we watch the number 11 go through again, really hitting those curbs and aggressively attacking the track. So this is going to be a really interesting way these guys drive tonight. Because, if you get into those curbs, it can bounce you into another car. It can send your car airborne, we've seen. So those curbs, track management, pace management, all going to be key tonight. These guys have a long night, only 25 laps, so it's kind of a sprint. The stage will be at 10 laps, so we're going to have like a 10-lap sprint followed by a 15-lap sprint here. This is going to be really exciting to watch the race, but as we watch, of course, we have Mark Whitley up at the top, followed by Justice Murphy. So already, guys, starting to lay down their lap times.
Yeah, they're starting to lay it down pretty quick, so we'll see how that changes. There's a couple guys that can get the pole tonight, so we'll see if that happens here. But, looking at the the ROVAL here, this is like a spectator one. This is the one that you want to tune into because you never know what's going to happen. They're going to go right, they got to go left. So for a spectator's race, this is awesome. For a driver, it could be a headache.
And definitely a spectator's race. Of course, we have Mark Whitley. We just saw Trevor Earhart take that pole position by just 0.02 of a second. So this is exciting. But on top of that, we're going to see some drivers, I believe, that we don't normally see in the front on the ovals. Some of these guys grew up maybe racing road, or, Gran Turismo's been around for a while, and people kind of get their cut their teeth in that per se, but this is iRacing and this is the ROVAL, something completely different. And these stock cars are not like your regular street cars, all solid rear suspension, 4-speed, manual transmissions. These guys are going to have their work cut out for them, and they're going to be working out too. These guys are going to be sweating all night long, and this is just going to be fun as we watch the number 11 get a little squirrely there once again, touching base on that elevation change and the fact that you got to be so gentle under the throttle. You almost have to think, I've heard it multiple times before, you got to not break the egg. Got to think there's an egg underneath your throttle pedal. You cannot break that egg. These guys will be trying not to break that egg tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, definitely, saving fuel, not much here, but a lot of people are going to be using the clutch, to go into turns and stuff to try to slow them down a little better. So you will see shifting here. Sometimes just holding to try to make that turn. So we're going to see a lot of action, especially with the bus too.
Definitely, and with the downshifting, you can't downshift too early. You break those tires loose under braking, you just kind of spin out, and if you're high enough in the standings, you're going to cause a whole big issue. Spinning out, people behind you are going to get caught up in whatever could happen. So it sounds like Billy may be having some technical difficulties. I'm going to bring in Zach Hall. Zach is a favorite of the Underdog Racing League. Zach, welcome. What are your thoughts on the track and racing tonight?
Well, I tell you what, Carl, it's fun to see this road course action here. As hopefully Billy can get his technical issues sorted out here for us. But yeah, step up here, man. What I've seen so far is close times from qualifying. But the one aspect I see, last road course race we were at the Road America. We had the number 25 of Trevor Earhart win that race, and that really set up his initial run to that championship. And man, I tell you what, he was looking really good coming out of that, building the momentum. Could he carry that momentum that he won at the Road America into this ROVAL? We'll have to see. Right now, second on the board, just under that pole position of Cedric Under.
And mentioning Trevor Earhart, that race was such a good race for him. That kind of set the momentum for the rest of the playoffs for Trevor. But looking at the number 5 of Jason Fensler, we know he's fast. He won last week, doing really, really well. He kind of had a rough start of the season. It really is going to be interesting watching these drivers attack this course. We're 3-4 races into the season. We're already hitting one of our road courses for the year. So these guys are going to be trying to capitalize on all the points. And with only one stage, those points are going to be that much more important tonight.
Yeah, especially when you're running here at Charlotte, you got to get everything corrected. So, we're going to see how tires are going to be acting here tonight. Probably not going to be a big factor. Wouldn't you agree?
No, I mean, yes, I agree with you. Tires are not going to be a huge factor, but they can. We've seen some of these cars spin out. We've seen them get a little warm. When you spin out, when you smoke those tires, it overheats the tire. You can ball spot the tire and really, really degrades these tires. So you got to be careful and really smooth on entry, on exits, and just really hope you can keep your nose clean and keep those tires where they need to be.
Yeah, so looking at qualifying here, these boys are having a little trouble trying to get around here tonight on the track. So it's going to be a great, fun race, and I can't wait to get this started here very shortly.
Well, this is definitely going to get started. We have about 2 minutes left of this qualifying run. Our this is going to be interesting watch, because looking at the top 4, top 5, you could put a blanket over about 3/10 separation only, and that's really impressive at a road course such as the Charlotte Roval. After that, there's 23.0s and then a 23.2. This is going to be really interesting. A lot of problems can be caused in the back, but these guys are really fast. In Cedric Connor, Trevor Earhart, Mark Whitley, Jason Fensler, really, really fast. So these guys are going to be racing clean, but they're going to be racing hard for that lead. Again, never know what the Roval will bring. I'm sure there's going to be a couple of surprises in store for us.
Oh yeah, absolutely, without a doubt. There's going to be somebody, like you said. I mean, some of these guys are maybe they're just the big road course people. So we're going to find out definitely tonight which one is who could be the king of the road course here tonight. And Charlotte is going to be very challenging racetrack tonight.
And challenging racetrack and challenging cars. Again, really stiff. These cars are meant to go in left turns. The track bar is situated a certain way. The rear end is solid, so definitely a different change of what we're used to seeing. It's going to be attacked differently, and these cars just drive entirely different. You can't force them into the corner like some of the street cars and everything else. You kind of have to let the car roll through the corners and let the car take its own, path through the track, really. And you never know when that car is going to bite you in the butt there, and maybe give a little too much throttle under a battle for position. So these guys, no one's going to be racing easy tonight. And I think a lot of these drivers at the end of this race are going to be kind of relieved that this one is out of the way for the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, the first Roval that you got to do throughout the season, so it's going to be a tough one. This is a tough one. Watkins Glen is a little bit easier to navigate through, so it should be very interesting.
Very interesting indeed. And as we are watching, qualifying is wrapped up. The leaderboard coming up is going to be really interesting top 10, really. We have a Cedric Connor taking the pole position. Trevor Earhart, talking about him earlier, road course star. Mark Whitley in third. Jason Fensler in fourth. And Justice Murphy, that number 9, wrapping out in fifth. So he's doing really well for himself. Ian Baker there in sixth. Nick Alves in 7th, Peyton Presley in 8th, Tyler Dangler in 9th, and then Brad Ringer rounding out the top 10.
All right, and then 11th, we have Garrett Thorpe driving the number 77. Driving the number 3, it's Jacob. He's driving that, he'll start 12th. In 13th, it's going to be Parker Johnson driving the 48 machine. And then you have 14th, you have Robert Reeder, and he's driving the 53. In 15th, it's going to be Christopher Haynes, and he's driving the 21 machine. 16th is Kevin Orlando. He's driving there. He'll start in 16. Ray Lane, the number 44 machine, driving in 17. 18, it's going to be Blake Cook driving the 4 machine. 19th, it's going to be Jake Williams. And rounding out your top 20, Joey Steers driving the 23 car.
And then continuing on, we have the number 2 of Martin Morales in 21st, Justin Stunner in 22nd, James Quattrone there in 23rd, John Magner 24th, Cody Dorsey there in 25th, Ryan Twynham in 26th, Scott Kerborg in 27th, and then James Loveland 28th, and then David Buell in 29th, wrapping out the field. Those last 2 cars did not put down a qualifying time, so we'll have to keep an eye on them and see if they can move forward throughout the rest of this race. So, Billy, here we go. We are top 5. Not really a surprise tonight, but the field is a little mixed up. I'm getting really pumped for turn 1 already.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to get exciting here at the Roval. Very interesting. And James Loveland starting in the 28th position. He's going to have a lot of work to do here tonight to get up to the top.
Definitely. He has the speed. We have talked about him throughout the beginning course of this season. So he is going to be working really hard all race long, really, to get to the front, or at least into the top 10 before the end of the stage at lap 10. And as we are watching, these guys are going side by side. Long pace laps here. We have a technically 18 turn, but if you want to be simplifying, we have 12 turns here at Charlotte. And considering for a road course, this is really, really narrow. The first part of the track closed in by walls, so this is going to be just critical for these drivers, especially in the front of the field, to hit their marks early and get through at least turn one somewhat nicely, I guess I should say.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. That's going to be tough, and then other places on the course to pass are going to be tough as well. You know, once you get into the inner loops, and it's going to be a tight track, like you said, to break out and pass. So it's going to be very interesting. I can't wait to see these boys get together and get the green flag going here as we're halfway through now. Man, it's just getting exciting. I'm excited because I got pins and needles in my stomach and I feel like I'm driving. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen here tonight.
Definitely, as we're watching, this is NASCAR Turn 1 and 2. They do incorporate the oval track. That's why they call it the quote-unquote ROVAL. Been around since about 2018, and ever since, you either love it or you hate it from just general consensus of drivers and fans. Seeing there, that's the first chicane on the backstretch. One of the huge passing points is going to be coming up to this point. Really, it's a really, really hard braking point. If you can get the line and get your car under control, that is a huge, huge momentum change. You can get that lead, but if you miss it, you are going to pay for it dearly. As we see some of the guys choose to go through there, already having issues with the navigation of that side-by-side on the pace lap. And as they go on to NASCAR 3 and 4, things are about to get really wild really quick.
Yeah, you might see a lot of people pass through that bus stop. You know, so it's going to be a good thing to look at tonight. You know, that's one of the key areas through the bus stop. And, you know, I think going into that last, you know, bus stop, that's where you're going to see some turns and spins coming to get the checkered flag.
And talking about the flag, here we are. It is green flag out through the final bus stop. Pace car is in. Cedric Hunter launching solidly under the waving flag and going into turn one. Cedric Hunter all alone, but we see some cars, looks like the 8 of Ian Baker, getting really wide. Some guys trying to make it 3 wide already. So a sense of urgency already there for these drivers as we are green. Single file for the first 5-6 cars. Looks like they're all trying to get organized, but looks like the 44 of Ray Lane really struggling to get in line there.
Yeah, I mean, there it is. You missed the line there, and then now got to work and navigate, get back through. And so far, you know, the drivers have been driving pretty good so far.
Well, only so far. This is only the start of lap 1, but like you said, they seem to be doing all right as we go into NASCAR 1 and 2 out of the infield. Coming up to the backstretch bus stop, one of those braking points we just talked about, and we are seeing already some guys trying to make some moves around those corners. If you can get the speed in the NASCAR corners, you can make that move if you have that speed momentum. The first 2 guys starting to kind of break away from the rest of the pack. Oh, and as we are watching, that first bus stop is rough, already collecting some cars. There we see the 4 of Blake Cook collecting some damage. So already some excitement in turn the first lap.
Yeah, the 5 car also spun out, so we'll see where that's going to put him here. He had some troubles there as the 13th Cedric Hunter comes in here and he takes the lead here coming out of the first turn 1.
And not to be taken for granted, there's the 6 of Mark Whitley. We have talked a lot about these 2 cars, the 13 and the 6, all season long. They seem to really complement each other. They push each other harder than really anyone else. We see Jason Fensler get in there, but Jason Fensler, if he gets the lead, he kind of just breaks away. These 2 guys love to race each other, and they race each other clean too. So this is going to be a matchup to watch the rest of the race.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. Right now, it's a great race, and now we're taking a look at the 25 car here as he's making his turns and trying to get his car, you know, up front here. So he's trying to chase down the race leaders.
And our race course whiz is about 4 seconds back. So I think he's taken maybe a little overabundance of caution, making sure he keeps it clean. With the 9 of Justice Murphy right behind him, we've seen Justice Murphy really have speed early on, gets caught up in a couple of things, and just really fun to watch him. He has the talent, just feels like he gets a little aggressive and tries to push that car just a little too hard, but he's looking in front of him, seeing the 25 of Trevor Earhart. He definitely wants that position. The 8 of Ian Baker, we're looking under attack by the 11 of Peyton Presley. These guys are really racing their hearts out already. We see them under braking situations. The 11 right there trying to get into the inside, maybe get to the bumper of the 8 of Ian Baker. Definitely trying to make a run into that turn 1. It's it can be a passing zone, but really difficult with the transition between the oval and the road course itself.
Well, yeah, and they also know that, this stage race, the first break is, lap 10. So they're going to hard charge some of these guys because they need some points here, especially, when the stage is coming up. I know 7 long laps left to go here for that first stage, but these guys are hard charging to the front, trying to get the best stage points they can right now, especially at the ROVAL.
And definitely, and not like if you've been watching a little bit the Daytona 24, that road course, keep in mind that's a 2.5 mile oval with a road course in there, much bigger than what we have here at the 1.5 mile Charlotte. We are only ticking away laps about 122 to 125. These guys really quick laps if you consider this track and the track layout. So definitely laps ticking away as we just complete lap 3 with Cedric Hunter in first, and chomping at the bit on his heels is the 6 of Mark Whitley.
Yep, Mark Whitley coming in there. Here we go. We got side-by-side battles back in there with the Wonder Car there and the 24 there. So these guys are getting really racy here, and wow, it has picked up here at the ROVAL.
And we were watching there, Nick Alves, he was able to take advantage in turn 1, but turn 2 lost another position. So that just goes to show how quickly you can gain spots and how quickly you can lose as he goes through that horseshoe right there and starts gaining a little bit on that car in front of him. Definitely fun to see. That is the 19 officially of Tyler Dangler. He had a little mishap with his paint scheme today. So keep in mind the 22 is actually the 19 of Tyler Dangler. But Tyler Dangler, he's had a top 10 car all season long. Oh wow, we just see the 13 of Cedric Hunter get really loose in that first bus stop. The 6 of Mark Whitley taking the inside on NASCAR 3 and 4. We have a battle for the lead. Mark Whitley taking advantage of a mistake by the leader.
Yeah, Mark, here he comes. He's coming down there, headed through the turn 1 there, trying to get in there. Oh, nice, good move, and yeah, the 6 car takes it out. So here he comes, man, and he leads the lap here. It's Mark. He's got the leader over Cedric Hunter.
And that just goes to show Cedric just missed his mark just a little bit, got a little squirrely on corner exit, and just like that, you can get pounced upon by your competitors. So this will be interesting. Cedric Hunter's maintaining roughly the same gap that the 6 is maintaining. So this is going to be a battle we're going to have to watch. Will the 6 make another mistake? But Mark Whitley already have a couple of wins this season and getting burned up there by the 13. 13 is not done yet, and if he wants to go, he has to go now, already halfway through this first stage. And as we're watching, the 13 gets underneath him. Oh, gets a little squirrely. That's that throttle control we were talking about earlier, Billy.
Yes, sir. He's trying to do a number. He's trying to get back in there, trying to get now as they go through the backstretch. This might be a pass here. You can make a pass here and doesn't get it done, but he's got it closer. The other issue is the 5 car. He started up front, Finzer. He's running 19th right now.
And again, Finsler with issues at the road course. Billy, you weren't here last season, but we saw what really helped Trevor Earhart take control of the playoffs was a road course at Road America. Trevor Earhart went to win that race, and Jason Fensler had a lot of issues. So one of those things we may have to keep an eye on later in the run for points as we see Cedric Hunter really take that corner aggressively and hit that car. But as you see, that did not work out the way he wanted to. It looks like he lost a couple of car lengths in time to the 6, so he's going to be looking to gain that back later on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, right there, he is driving hard, and just the way to see that cockpit view of him was awesome. Here we are taking a look at the 76 machine. He's driving currently he's driving in 10th right now. It's Robert Reeder, and we saw him a couple times in practice take out some cones, but right now he's looking pretty good here, driving in the 10th position.
Yeah, and the 76 is in fact Brad Ringer, and we saw him kind of lock up those rear brakes a little bit, and he got a little squirrely into that turn one, locking the brakes up. Oh, and as he slides out of the corner, again, locking the brakes up can totally deteriorate and reduce the life of those tires by really a massive amount and you don't really think about it, and that just goes to prove how important it is to get these really heavy stock cars slowed up. You can change a little bit of that. You can, as we watch, he misses the final chicane there. He's gonna have to swing it around here, but it looks like it was another lockup. These drivers do have brake bias adjustments they can do. They can tick it up or down, meaning you can add more brake force to the front tires or take it away. A lot of these drivers are going to be doing that throughout the run and as the tires wear out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, making those adjustments are key at the track too. That's so many minimal adjustments that you can make while you're driving, and yeah, right there, just tough for him, especially hitting that corner.
And that just goes to prove you got to be so patient. There can be no one around you and you can still make a mistake. Patience is key. We've talked about it so many times, Billy, throughout the season, but I think here more than nearly anywhere else is going to be the most vital, just making sure you don't make another mistake after a mistake. You want to keep a cool head and just get you back on the track and hope your fellow competitors make the same mistakes as you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure the crew chief is in his headset right now saying, okay, it's okay. Just continue what you're doing. We still got a lot of laps left here to go. So just relax and get you back focused and hit your marks. And clearly hitting your marks, that's what the 6 car is doing right now, hitting his marks. He is just blistering a pace. And right now, Cedric Hunter trying to gain back that top spot.
Definitely Cedric Hunter after that mistake. It fell back to, he's about a second and a half issues in that first bus stop. And I just watched the number 11 of Peyton Presley kind of miss that final bus stop, but we're watching the racing here. These guys are racing really hard against each other, and when they get side by side, they're really not giving anything. They already know. We've started lap 8, so we only have a couple more laps until the stage break. These guys are trying to get there. We saw the 76 Brad Ringer. He was in 10th, made that mistake, so these guys are hoping maybe a couple more of those drivers up there in the top 10 can make mistakes and they can capitalize on those points.
Well, I got to tell you right now, the guy who's on the prowl and really doing a great job right now is that number 56 car of James Loveland. He started in 28th position and now makes his way up to the 18th position. He's on a mission as we come close here to lap 9 here at the ROVAL. This is really exciting racing for the Underdog Racing League.
And this is going to be interesting for the 56. Only one stage break at lap 10. They are going to throw the caution. So if these guys want some fuel, want some tires, they can get it without too much repercussion. But definitely the 56 looking to move forward when they get all bunched up and they go green for the next stage.
Yeah, definitely. So right now he's going to do his best, try to get the best points he can. And man, what a great mover as he gained at least 10 positions between where he started tonight. So that's awesome for him.
Definitely going to have to keep an eye on that. But as we keep going, Mark Whitley slowly pulling away from Cedric Hunter. Cedric Hunter may have had the faster lap. He had that pole position, but Mark Whitley tends to be a little smoother, it seems, and doesn't making the bold moves, not making too many aggressive mistakes. Good for him, but these guys turning right, turning left, already having issues. And look at that. They're going nearly 90 degrees, if not more, through some of these corners, and you're not really used to turning the wheel that much. So these guys, the shoulder's definitely going to be sore after tonight.
Yeah, another guy we should be paying attention to is, how about that 53 car of Robert Reeder? He started in 14th. He moves his way up to the 8th position right now, and he's on a mission as well.
And Robert Rader is going to be definitely, he's definitely one of our more consistent, smoother drivers. He's definitely capitalized on some of the mistakes of the cars in front of him. So Robert Rader looking really good for those stage points in 8th. He has Peyton Presley behind him, 2.5, so he's not too concerned, and he's about second, maybe a little more than that away from the 24 Nick Alves there in 7th. So these guys getting into a rhythm, but as they get into a rhythm, we are on lap 10. So at the end of this lap, caution going to come out, and they are going to bunch them back up. So shortly, but definitely surely, these guys are going to be right back at it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. They're going to get right back at it. It's exciting. The first 10 laps have been really exciting. And, man, I can't wait for the second half of this race.
Definitely the second half is going to be maybe not raced as differently. There's only going to be 5 extra laps to that. So these guys really looking forward to trying and capitalizing, getting the field bunched up and being closer to each other to make those passes. But that's when mistakes happen. We've seen it all season long. People get a little jumpy on the restart and want to go, and they end up maybe causing an issue or just spinning out for themselves, making the mistake for themselves. So it's going to be difficult and definitely interesting to see how the rest of the race plays out.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when you look at this and you look at the drivers here too, you know, very few big, you know, there was only a couple mistakes going in the first 10 laps, so it's going to be really interesting to see what happens here in the future.
Oh, and as we're watching the 77 of Grant Thorpe making the pass on Peyton Presley, that is for 9th. Peyton Presley, the second time he has missed that first chicane. And as we are talking, the yellow has come out for stage break. So ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching, don't go anywhere. We have plenty more action-packed racing in front of you, but for now, while these guys wind down and do some pit stops, we are going to go to a quick commercial break. Be right back. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Underdog Racing League. 25 laps here at the Charlotte ROVAL. Before we get going here, let's not forget to give a shout out to ButtKicker. Every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail from subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10 powered race car, from ambient environmental effects to the power of nearby explosions. By moving in physical mass instead of only air, the Gamer 2 provides an instant, accurate, powerful base response, and it's all perfectly in sync with every game with no additional software required. ButtKicker, feel what you've been missing. So here we are, Billy. We have the first stage done, 10 laps. Looks like we're going to go green with another 10 laps. So another 10-lap sprint and a couple of changes in the top 10. This is getting really exciting.
Yeah, some people had to make some moves. Some people chose to stay out, it looks like. So it should be pretty interesting. Or somebody went in the last, but the pit before to fuel up and make it. That's it. That's going to be my final pit stop tonight. So yeah, quite different strategies going around pit road, and the grid looking pretty sharp as we're almost about halfway through the track here before we go green.
And pit road was a monster to some of these drivers. We were watching Peyton Presley, the number 11, through a decent amount of that first stage. He had some huge issues on pit road. He went from 8th to 16th. So action on the track, action off the track. Billy, pit road just as critical here as it is just about anywhere else.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's look at our race leader tonight. He started in 26th. Now he has got the lead. It's Ryan, the 31 car. So pretty interesting move by him.
Ryan Twynham looks like he's going to use some strategy to get up to the front. Really, that would tell me he probably only took really no tires, seeing some damage on that back bumper. This is going to get really interesting for that first corner because those tires being already warm in a heat cycle, they're going to have a different level of grip than all the new cold tires behind them. So he's going to have to be really careful diving it into one for that first time.
When you look at it, when you think about it, hey, this is the time that I got to make a move. I know I can race pretty good. Why don't I take advantage and get myself up in the top front and see what I could do?
That old saying goes, if you're going to follow the leader, that's all you're going to do is follow the leader. Definitely trying something a little different to try and get in front and be that leader. We'll see if it works out for him. But as we are going along, we are coming through NASCAR Turn 4. These guys going to be going green here in just a little bit. The pace car looking to make the hard left turn onto pit lane. Here right now, the green flag in the hands of Barney the flagman, going through the bus stop, and side by side, and Ryan Twynham launches with the green flag, really gets out in front, and hopefully this pit strategy going to give him that race win. We are green at the ROVAL.
Here they come through turn 1, the most difficult part of the track. 31 car still holding the top lead as Ryan's coming through the turns, and not too far away is Mark in the 6th and Cedric Hunter in the 13.
And we saw there going into turn 1, Mark Whitley lock up a little bit there. The Cedric Hunter, number 13, had to get to the bumper, but there we are. Number 6 back into the lead. 13 hot on his heels, and 13 looking to make a move from the inside on this last horseshoe. Coming out, going back onto NASCAR Turn 1. They are still side by side. Mark Whitley on the inside preferred line, but Cedric Hunter with the momentum on the outside. The 25 car of Trevor Earhart right behind him.
Oh, here they go, side by side drafting into the bus turn here. This is going to be where it's going to be making their money shot through the backstretch. Here they come. The 13 car comes down inside, and looks like he's going to take it, but here comes Mark on the outside as well. Here it comes as Mark has now come in with Cedric as well.
They were side by side through the chicane. That is very, very difficult to do. But Cedric Hunter with the preferred lane with the corner exit. But going into this next bus stop, Mark Whitley in the 6th having the preferred line. And it looks like they're going to get a little squirrely there crossing the start-finish line. They are still bumper to bumper. Cedric Hunter making another move to the inside line. And then Mark Whitley trying to do the crossover. This is really exciting racing going on side by side.
Inside, outside, loving it. This is great. As you look at Mark, he's got the lead coming in, but Cedric is not giving away. Comes on the inside. They're 2x2 coming in the turn with, look at that, Trevor Earnhardt coming in there for the race in the top 3. Sorry.
Trevor Earhart is definitely our road race ringer. We are riding on board, and he's just looking at these two drivers pushing each other really hard, bumping and banging, and again, really sliding those tires on. Trevor has a little more, little smoother line, and he's trying to conserve his stuff a little more, just waiting for one of those cars in front of him to make that mistake.
And here they come. They're coming through the back again. This is great racing. As there it is, Cedric Hunter through the bus stop. Now Mark is coming on the outside. Look at this. And Trevor's right there for the top spot here at the ROVAL. Exciting racing for these boys with 10 laps to go.
And as these guys are racing, we are watching the rest of the field. Trevor Earhart, Justice Murphy, all really on top of each other. Ian Baker, these guys have not really gotten away from each other like they did in the last stage. I would probably contribute that to those two leaders racing really hard side by side. These guys definitely have a little bit of a rhythm, know what the track's doing, and as we watch, the 8 of Ian Baker gets a little loose on that corner exit. Keeps it out of the wall though, keeps it straight, so he's not going to lose the spot, but definitely the 24 behind him looking to take it.
Yeah, good car handling there by the 9 car to go around, the 8 car for position, and boy, this is heated up here in the last I would say 30 seconds to a minute, but man, this has been really impressive to see these boys racing here tonight as we look at Robert Rader there, that 53 machine trying to gain positions here.
And Robert Rader from 14th to 7th. He has the 5 of Jason Fensler filling up his mirror though as they come to the backstretch bus stop. So Jason Fensler not content with staying where he is, definitely wants to move up, but he has to contend with the 53 and the 24 of Nick Alves in front of him. Definitely going to be a tall order for the 5, but looks like Robert Rader may just give that line away, just trying to keep a clean car, hopefully can stay in the top 10 spot and keep some points. But as we're talking here, the battle of the lead is right back on the 6 of Mark Whitley, trying to make a pass on the 13 of Cedric Hunter, but he's not going to be able to make that pass. But the 5 really tracking down the 24 of Nick Alves, making moves there, so he's starting to make his way forward in the field in the second stage.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys, Alves and then, Fenzer there doing battle, and Fenzer takes it, coming out of the turn into the bus stop. Wow, look at that, as Fenzer gains another position here at the ROVAL. Rocking and rolling at the Underdog Racing League tonight.
Definitely a lot of mixing and matching with positions and drivers. Fensler had an incident early on, fell really far back, but is recovering very, very nicely. And as this race is going along, some of the action kind of calming down, we are going to call on to Advanced Sim Racing. Founded in 2020, Advanced Sim Racing is the fastest growing North American racing simulation chassis manufacturer and digital motorsport equipment retailer. Owned and operated by passionate sim racers like you and me, the company designs and builds the sturdiest and most durable profile racing simulation cockpits available. They zero flex, always wanting to give the sim racer the best thing they can give. Advanced Sim Racing. Definitely check them out. Use the code FreakyFast5, all spelled out, for 5% off your entire order. So if you want to check them out, go ahead. Great business. But as we're looking along, we see the 5 of Jason Fensler. He has a little bit of that front bumper damage. Doesn't seem to be affecting him too terribly much, but maybe one of the reasons why he's not advancing as fast as maybe he would like.
Yeah, I mean, that damage could do something, especially with the air. But right now, with the road course, especially watching the 24-hour Daytona, a little bumper damage is not too bad. Sometimes it could even make you a little better. But, yeah, he's tracking down after that big turn 1, spin around. And, Fencer's on the move to get up front.
And this is where that bumper damage is going to hurt him the most, is the really high-speed oval sections 1, 2, the backstretch 3 and 4. That's what's really going to damage him, I think. With the way the car moves under braking, the front end likes to dip down. You're using a lot of the weight transfer instead of the aero at this track. So I think for the corners he should be fine, but definitely the high-speed sections is where he's going to be hurting the most.
Well, I mean, he's still gaining, so we're going to see him. It looks like he's got the damage under control here so far. So, yeah, I mean, you know, damage is going to hurt you, but he looks like he's doing okay.
And as we're watching, he makes the pass on the 8 of Ian Baker. That is for 5th position. So Jason Fansler breaking the top 5, getting back roughly to where he tried and started and qualified this race. Justice Murphy there in 4th is going to definitely want to keep that 5 behind him. Justice Murphy needs a couple of points with a couple of rough outings this past couple of weeks. So he's looking in a great spot to get those points in 4th, trying to chase down the 25 of Trevor Earhart.
Yeah, Trevor Earhart is a little bit above him now. He's getting close as they come over here to the bus stop, see if they could get some time with him.
And these guys, little more spread out, the first 4 anyway, but still closer than we were at the stage end. Remember, we were looking about between the gap between 2nd and 3rd. There was roughly 4 seconds, but there's only about 3 seconds separating our top 4 contenders. And these guys are looking to try and get anything they can, as we just saw the 25 of Trevor Earhart hit those curbs on that last bus stop really, really hard, forcing him to really go wide and give that position to Justice Murphy as we are speaking. So go for Justice Murphy, moving up the field and solidly in a podium position.
Yeah, maybe he's the road course king here. He's looking pretty good tonight in that 9 car tonight. And, man, he's gaining some spots, so good for him.
And looking who it's good for, the 56 of James Loveland in the 12th position. Like you have hit on it, Billy. Whoa, as we see the 25 get a little squirrely there. He started, James Loveland, the 56, started in 28th. He is now up to 12th, nearly breaking that top 10. He has been on a charge all night long here at the ROVAL.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, all you can hear it, his crew chief said, saying, da-da-da-da, charge! And that's what he's doing. He's charging up to the field. So, great recovery for him, starting from the 28th position tonight.
And a lot of these other guys, another good run, like we've mentioned, Robert Rader from 14th to 7th, Ray Lane 17th to 11th. So some of these guys started far back, made their way through the traffic fairly well. So definitely good night for some of these other drivers. May not be a top 10, but you pass more cars, it makes you feel better about yourself. It gives you a little more confidence for that next pass.
Yeah, look at Ray Lane here driving the 44 machine. He is currently in 11th, and his car looking pretty nice here, going left, going right, and he's making a way around this track pretty well.
And as we were talking, James Loveland makes up another spot, so definitely good run for James. The 44 looking a little bit little gnarly there on the left side, but doesn't seem to be affecting him too terribly much, as he is, like you've mentioned, Billy, definitely been able to put down those times. So at this point, Billy, we have 4 laps to go. Everyone's kind of spread out. Do you settle for your position, or do you just try and get that one car, that one extra point?
Well, I mean, it all depends on where the car is. You know, it all depends on if you're close to a guy, you want to track him down and gain the most points you can. You know, race leader, you just want to hit your marks and keep it clean. Just like the 2 car here. He's just hitting his marks, trying to keep it clean, with the 21 right behind him as well. So these guys, Christopher Haynes and Martin Morlaz, they're just racing, man. And if you're the 21 car, you want to try to make a pass and get past the 2 to make the most points with 3 laps to go.
And as we're watching the 21 of Christopher Heights, definitely having some damage as he runs over those curbs. He is missing that front bumper that is definitely affecting the handling. The 2 of Martin Morales just kind of trying to cruise and keep that 21 behind him. These guys really just trying to get to the end of this race, which will conclude in 3 laps. These guys just wanting to get through this track, and the right turns especially. These guys were not looking forward to this race earlier, but I think some of these guys might have surprised themselves with their performance tonight.
You know what, Carl? I want to contact the owner of Underdog and say, put some more road course races in the schedule. Wow, this has been really exciting. As a fan, as a broadcaster, I love going right, I love going left, and it's been a fun night here for the Underdog Racing League.
Definitely a fun night. These guys racing really hard, even with some damage. Not really concerning at this point. Just trying to finish. 21 trying to make a move on that 2 car. Definitely fun to see him mess around with that. But here we are, the 44 of Ray Lane there in 12th. We have 11th and 12th, 10th right there too. The 56 of James Loveland has crept up to that 11th spot, looking to crack the top 10 before this race is over, but he will have to pass Kevin Orlando Jr. to make that happen. He only has 2 laps to do it, but it looks like he may have a shot here going into the 2nd bus stop, but maybe just trying to bide his time into turn 1.
Yeah, I mean, most definitely here. This is where the 56 now, he's got to push it forward. So if you want that to get in the top 10, that's what you want to do. So I'm sure he's going to be driving a little aggressively here as we go to the inner part of the track of the old ROVAL.
And look at that, as we're talking, you got a huge gain out of turn 1. Trying to get around that 27. That 27 not giving him that inside lane, but looks like he's gonna just get in line here and wait for another opportunity. The first bus stop on the backstretch would be one of them. I'd keep an eye on that. Maybe keep a draft getting up to there. So the draft possibly. Oh, we watch the 27 wax the wall coming out of the horseshoe, going onto the oval. So that is definitely going to cause some issues. The 56 looking to pounce.
Yeah, he is most definitely coming out of that turn. Looks like he's going to make that chance here, make that position there. As we look at the 44 again, trying to gain another position while these 2 guys are battling for that 10th spot. So 10, 11, 12 right there, all doing battle. It's the closest race here so far for position.
And after that, the 56 starts pulling away. The 27 having some issues later on in this run. But here we are with the freaky fast white flag. We have 1 to go here already at the oval. I feel like, Billy, we just started, but here we are at nearly the end. Cedric Hunter with a 4-second lead off of Mark Whitley. We saw a really hard battle the first couple of laps of this race, but it looks like Cedric Hunter shall prevail and spread out his lead just a little bit further as we come to the end and the conclusion of this race.
Yeah, coming to the backstretch now, the 13 car, Cedric Hunter just trying to hit his marks and try to keep from spitting out. So that's all you need to do, because it's pretty easy sailing from here now with almost half a track left before we're going to call this one done.
And he is definitely smooth, hitting his marks, entering and exiting the corners as evenly as he can. No real pressure from Mark Whitley behind him. And as we go through the 2nd chicane, the checkered flag is out, and the number 13 of Cedric Hunter is going to win at the ROVAL tonight for the Underdog Racing League. This is a great win, a really dominant performance by Cedric Hunter. Definitely could keep the pace, the 6 could keep the pace, but after a while, Cedric Hunter, I think, just was able to get a little smoother and just really dominate the rest of this race.
Absolutely. I want to give a congratulations to Justin Murphy. Finally, he's gotten in the podium. He gets 3rd here. So excited for Justin Murphy to get that position here tonight. Big W for him. And
definitely we will be able to talk with our top 3 3 finishers. But before that, we are going to go to a commercial break, and after that, we will talk to our podium finishers here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the conclusion of 25 laps at the ROVAL. We just saw some exciting finishes, but here we are. We are going to talk to the top 3 finishers, starting with the 9 of Justice Murphy. Hey, Justice, what's going on? That was a great finish, podium finish for you this season. You've had some rough luck. How did it feel racing the ROVAL tonight?
Just felt good to finally be up there, and felt like I had a chance at contention there, especially start of the second stage. It kind of stayed tight for a few laps, but then those guys just checked out, so it was just about kind of maximizing the opportunity.
Yeah, you did a really great job tonight, racing. It looked like road courses are your thing. Are you normally a road course driver?
No, I've just for some reason kind of found my rhythm in these cars. I do enjoy running the roadside, kind of learning the technicalities of it and all that. But I mean, I mainly just try to do the oval end. But I guess I probably put a lot more practice into doing these, so it usually kind of reflects in the results.
Well, that is just really awesome to see you up there. Next week is Dover, the Monster Mile. What can we expect from the 9 car next week?
Heck, last season I had a decent run going there. I just put myself behind on track position early. I think I ended up finishing something like 6th or 7th, but hopefully we can improve that by a couple spots. But we'll obviously be looking. Cedric and Mark will be fast. We always know Jason's fast on those short tracks, so you got to be hyper aware of that.
Definitely. Congratulations on the 3rd place. Anyone you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Give a shout out to you guys, man, doing an awesome job with the broadcast. I always go back and watch these things back on Thursday mornings, trying to see kind of what spotlight got shined on me, my teammates, and how the race looked, and it's always enjoyable. And then, of course, I do want to shout out my teammates, BD Motorsports, Jacob Serkovich, Grant Thorpe, Peyton Presley, those guys, and then obviously, Trevor is always fun to be able to pass Trevor out here on these road courses. He's real quick. So shout out to him. He was our 24-hour teammate over the weekend. So it was fun doing that. But yeah, as always, you guys first and foremost.
Well, good luck next week, Justice. Hope you have a good run.
Thank you, guys.
And that was the 3rd place of Justice Murphy. Coming up, we have the 2nd place finisher, the number 6 of Mark Whitley. Mark, this is Carl and Billy up in the booth. That was a great battle between you and Cedric, really all race. What was the difference at the end there between you and Cedric?
Yeah, that first run I was able to get by him pretty quickly and just kind of hold him off. There was parts of the track he was better than me and vice versa. And then I don't know, the on that green flag, that one car that stayed out, we got by him pretty quick, but we were slipping and sliding, and me and him battled for what 3 or 4 laps, and I think finally he was sending in there on the back straightaway chicane, a little aggressive. We got made a little contact, but it's all clean racing all in all. But he got by me, and then I think just from the hard racing, my tires are getting a little warm, and then I was trying to run them down a little bit, and I think it just kind of heated the tires up too much, and they started sliding there. And then there was a couple big mistakes I made with a few to go, and it just kind of made them just walk away from me. And it was just kind of frustrating because I feel like we had probably one of the better cars. Me and him were probably, I'd say probably dead even. I might be a little bit better than him for just pure speed, but it was a pretty fun battling. Kind of sucks he just gets walks away at the end, so it was kind of anticlimactic. But 2nd place is good, I guess.
Yeah. Would you like, Mark? This is Billy. Do you like to see road courses on schedule?
Yeah, road courses. I'm normally a pretty big fan. Ever since even before I got on iRacing, like going back in like NASCAR 09 days, road courses are always kind of one of my favorites. I feel like I've been able to get a lot better at road courses here recently, and it just I like driving them. They're fun. They're a lot more fun. They're a lot more involved. Sometimes it gets kind of boring on a 1.5 mile oval where even the good ones, you're only really letting off the gas a little bit, just steering a little bit. Where the road course here, you're upshifting, downshifting, brake, gas, you're counter steering it one way, going into the corner next. I mean, it's just a whole different skill set, and it's a lot more fun. So, more road courses the merrier, if you ask me.
Definitely, but next week we are going back to an oval. We have Dover, the Monster Mile. We expect to see you up front next week.
Yeah, Dover's usually a pretty good track for me. Think I haven't run it that often with the Xfinity car. I think the last time I did was probably the middle of last year. It seemed like we had a good handle on it. We'll see. There's a lot of fast guys in here. Cedric being one of them, obviously. Fensler. Just gonna be about trying to stay at the front. Keep the tires clean, keep the car clean, and be there at the end.
And that's definitely the goal. Congratulations on your second place finish. Anyone you want to give a shout out tonight, Mark?
Oh yeah, quick shout out Harpoon Designs, putting together this nice little paint schemes, a little inverse of what I have had. I figured just throw it back a little bit, just try not throw it back, but just try to change it up a little bit, do a little inverse. Check him out, harpoondesign.com. He's got a bunch on Trade and Paint if you want to check him out, and he can also do custom work. Then on the hood we got Angry Duck Graphics. Angry Duck is your one-stop shop for graphics tees, custom racewear, race wraps, and a lot more. Just check them out. ShopAngryDuck.com. They're not going to disappoint you. They're pretty awesome what they're doing over there. And a big shout out to my family. Always tuning in, always watching. It's always great having a support group. Somebody that everybody that cares about you, want you to see you do good, and when you do bad, they're there to support you and get you out of the dumps. And big shout out to the league. I know this was a road course, so we didn't have any cautions, but there wasn't. We only lapped like one or two guys right there at the very end, and from what I heard on the radio, it seemed like pretty clean. So that's pretty good for here on the road course. And one last shout out is y'all at Freaky Fast, always putting on a great broadcast. It's always fun to go back and watch. Next day, ones like this, even if I finish second, kind of go back and watch, see what I did wrong, see what I can improve on, and y'all just have some of the best broadcast quality on iRacing.
Well, we really appreciate that, Mark. You have a good night and enjoy that second place finish.
I don't know about enjoy it, but I'll have a good night, I guess.
And that was second place Mark Whitley. But coming up right now, our first place finisher, Cedric Hunter. Cedric, welcome to the booth. It's Carl and Billy. That was some really intense racing between you and Mark. What made the difference there at the end?
So after the first stage, I had obviously made that mistake that kind of set me back in seconds, and then my mentality from there on was just go all out, try and get back to the lead. And I think what honestly won me the second, or the race, was that at the end of that stage, the last few laps, I realized, okay, I wasn't going to get back to him. And so I kind of just took it easy, didn't make any mistakes, cooled the tires off. And that's really when I started closing the gap on him, was once the tires were cooled off. So I kept in mind, going to the last stage of the race, that all I want to do is just never overheat the tires. And as long as I did that, I think that I had good pace. And when I had, I'm so sorry to the person that stayed out. I don't remember his name, but when I had that person that stayed out, I thought that was really going to jumble up the lead, or it gives me an opportunity to fight for it, and that's really just all I needed. I know Mark and I race each other pretty hard on a regular basis, and I think that was a little bit more of that kind of showing. It was a lot of fun. Going to the bus stop a couple of times, I know I got into him, so I apologize to him after the race. But like I said, that's just Mark and I hard racing. So it was fun though. I really enjoyed it.
Would you like next year to see some more road courses on the schedule?
Yeah, absolutely. I do enjoy doing road courses. I'm not a particular fan of this one, especially. But as a whole, I think that throughout the rest of the season, we're going to, if I'm not mistaken, 2 more road courses. So with the season that we have, I think going to 3 is enough. But in my opinion, you can never go wrong with having more. So it's good though. I like them.
Can never go wrong, but next week we have the mile at Dover, concrete. You've been fast just about anywhere you go. What can we expect next week from you and Mark?
I think Mark will be fast as always. With myself at Dover, especially, I'm normally only quick when it's really loose. My driving style just suits that type of driving at that track specifically really well. If it's tight, I would expect hopefully to get a top 5, and I think if it's a little freer, then I could definitely get the win. But as for usual, I fully expect the regular guys to be up there and to be a really good race.
Well, that's really exciting, Cedric. Really looking forward to it. Anyone you want to make a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, I want to give you a huge shout out to Vinny, or Vincent Sora, Category 5 teammate of mine. He was on the box tonight, helped me out with just information and then knowing what Mark was doing and lap times and stuff like that, just giving me information that I needed. So I appreciate his help tonight. I want to give you a huge shout out to you guys for putting on a great show tonight. I'm very excited to go back and watch it. And all the league drivers and admins and everyone that makes tonight's race and all past and future races possible. I appreciate them for allowing me to come and race here with them.
Well, that is great stuff, Cedric. Go ahead and celebrate your win. We will see you next week at Dover.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
And that was our race winner, the 13 is Cedric Hunter. Like he said, him and Mark Whitley really were beating and banging early on in that run. Billy, that was really fun to watch. As we're gonna go through, we're gonna pull up the driver standings here in a little bit, but this is gonna be interesting. These guys have been really back and forth, really bumping and banging against each other. Billy, this is gonna be fun to watch the rest of the season.
Yeah, definitely. These two guys, especially tonight, in the final move when Cedric went around Mark, it got really exciting. It really did. As you can tell, I was excited. I'd like to see more road courses. Going left, going right. It was a lot of fun tonight.
And the drivers agreed, but here we are with the standings. Of course, Cedric Hunter in first, Mark Whitley second, Justice Murphy in third. Trevor Earhart ended up finishing fourth, and rounding out the top 5 was Jason Fensler. Robert Rader was in 6th. Great run from him, starting from 14th. Ian Baker in 7th. Nick Alves in 8th. Tyler Dangler in 9th. And then wrapping up the top 10, our biggest mover of the night is James Loveland. A couple of guys that I'm kind of surprised weren't a little further up. Ray Lane, he finished there in 12th. He had some issues early on. Peyton Presley, he started 8th, finished 16th, so not a good run for him. We did see some damage from Christopher Hyde. So a lot of these guys, some of the normal guys we see up front, but it did shake up the field, Billy. Next week at Dover, though, it's going to be tough on these drivers. Really bumpy. Concrete doesn't quite warm up like it normally does. What do you think we can expect next week?
I think it's going to be a firecracker show next week. Because it's a mile, so it's like a short track again. So it's going to be real tight racing. And of course, the pitch and the track is going to be awesome too. So, we're going to some degree banking next week, which is going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Definitely a lot of fun. You race fans out there, don't forget to tune in, hit that like, hit that subscribe button so you know when we go live. It will be again green flag at about 6:40, 6:45 Mountain Time. It'll be 8:45 Eastern Time. But until then, I'm going to send it up to our producer, Robert Moyer Jr. Robert, close us out.
All right. Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Billy. Great action-packed racing here tonight at the ROVAL. Here with Underdog Racing League. Yep, we've got another one in the books here. Congratulations to Cedric Hunter, Mark Whitley, Justin. Let's see here who we got. I do apologize. I got to look over here and see who we have. Well, anyways, top 3. Congratulations to them. And, Jason Fensler, talk of the town there. He's going to bring it home 5th. And, Earhart, last week's, not last week, but, he knows how to run. Earhart knows how to get around some road course racing. So he's going to bring it home 4th. Thought he would bring it home, up a little bit more, but what do I know? We just had an update with iRacing and they changed some things around and we don't know what all happened there, but well, our next televised broadcast, I'll bring it up here, ladies and gentlemen, here, if you want to check it out. Wednesday night here, as you can see here with the Underdog Racing League. Our next televised, well, we're going to head to Richmond with Stars and Stripes and also with NISCC Cup Series at 8:30 for them and at 9:20 for the Stars and Stripes and 8:50 for the Saturday night. But we head into Richmond, like I said. So we'll be in Richmond for a while, and have 2 nights of Richmond, and we'll have Zach Hall calling all the action with Sam Dyer on Thursday night. And then coming around Saturday night, we'll also have Sam Dyer and Terry Bradford calling all the action here, as we'll see Zach Hall out on the track Saturday night. So hopefully everybody has a great rest of their Thursday night. Enjoy their Friday night and Saturday, and enjoy that whatever sporting event you go to. And we get ready for NASCAR season, real life, soon ready to open up here. Countdown has begun. So we'll see that soon coming aboard here for Freaky Fast and all the fans out there. And iRacing just released LA Coliseum, which I heard is a pretty wicked track. So stay tuned for some future events here at Freaky Fast for that track, because it's going to be fun. But with that being said, hopefully everybody has a great rest of the Thursday night. Until Saturday, we'll catch you then. Until then, God bless everybody. We love you all. Peace out.